We've been trying to teach him how to click his fingers.
I did it earlier a couple of times, and I can't do it again now.
One of the things he's learned from joining this podcast is how to click his fingers, but clearly not
not.
very well.
Well, no. Well,
Not do it into the microphone.
And on that note, I think we kick off the podcast. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. This is the Blue Podcast Network, and this is the Blue Podcast. Today, my hosts with me are Henry and Lloyd, and today we've got someone that I work alongside at Eastbourne. We have got Ori, the head analyst.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm very good. Very good, yeah.
How are you boys doing? I know I've been with you for like 3 hours now.
Say,
yeah, no, we're all good. We're all good.
Surviving.
Still
feeling rough.
I'd be worried if it took 3 hours for you to ask how your mates are doing.
Yeah.
They're just my lackeys, really. I just kind of put them in places. They talk a bit of waffle, and then
Wow. Yeah. So we're not friends.
So you're
how
fine.
it is?
Just
Henry.
Henry.
Okay.
Me
Right.
puts all the work in behind
Okay. I
the
see.
scenes,
I see.
scheduling
I like you.
Do you remember their names?
Lloyd and Henry.
Yes.
Oh,
Smashed
wow.
it.
Smash that.
That's lucky that.
Didn't
That's
call me
good.
Harry, so that's a good start.
Well, you know.
Everyone calls you Harry. It's weird
Why did they call you Harry?
because Henry is short for. It's not short for Harry.
Is it?
But everyone says that it's short for Harry, but it isn't.
What am I hearing here?
No, but everyone,
Harry short for Henry.
apparently. That's
According to who?
No,
No, it
it's
isn't. It's the same number of letters, but
But
everybody
who's
says that.
who's saying this?
Like Prince Harry's legal name's Henry.
So Harry's
No.
so Harry's short for Henry,
It's like a nickname that people call.
but
Henry.
not Henry's short for Harry.
No,
I swear you just said that Henry was short for
it's
Harry.
the same number of letters, but people say, "Oh, it's short for
Whoa, is Henry short for Harry? It was Harry short for Henry.
Harry, short for Henry," but it isn't. But it is.
They're like two completely different names. The only thing that matches them is that the first and last letters are the same.
Yeah, no, I know. But like, whenever, like, if you ask my folks something, and they're like, "Oh no, call him Harry because it's short for Henry." It's not, but that's what everyone says.
That's like
But
calling
like-
someone called Tom Dom.
It's a southern thing. It's weird.
I might go.
Southern thing.
No, it's not.
It's not.
To be fair-
We're getting confirmation from behind the camera that is not true.
That's my excuse normally. Is I just say it's a southern thing that I can't deal with. I'm from up north, me.
Yeah. So where are you from?
So yeah, born in Guernsey, and then moved up to Accrington when I was like 2,
Okay.
and lived up there ever since. And then literally moved out this year, January,
To do what?
to be head of analysis at Eastbourne Borough.
Woof.
Yeah.
How's it been going this season?
This season's been really good, second in the league. Smashing it really. We got a really good squad this season. A really good squad. Good group of lads.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's nobody who you think could cause trouble, problems, anything like that. Like, we're in a really good place. The staff, unbelievable. Like, so good.
Oh,
from
thanks,
this
mate.
level.
Took a nosedive. when you
Especially the
said
media.
Oh,
Especially the media.
But let's talk about what an analyst is, because I know Henry sat
Well,
next to me when I
I am
told
on
you.
the list now. I've literally just got my degree, my master's in performance analysis.
Have
through
ya?
Google. Yeah.
Mm.
So I've literally just qualified. My specialty is recruitment.
All right, okay.
Recruitment over performance. Personally, that's my preference, but I'll do whatever.
Give him a job, guys. He's desperate.
We're going to have a chat afterwards.
I spent yesterday emailing every single club from League One down to National League South.
Did you email us?
Did you us?
I didn't because I have you to do that.
Okay.
Like he's going to do that for you.
Do it
Tom's gonna walk in
yourself.
tomorrow and be like, oh yeah, this guy needs a job. Like,
Yeah, in the door.
Please hire him.
I think I would be told.
his name's short for Henry, so
Yeah, his name's Henry, but you can call him
his
Harry.
name's
It's fine.
Henry, but like, just call him Harry for short.
God's sake.
You were saying, sorry, before we interrupted?
I've forgotten.
You got bright red.
You got a master's.
Yes, I got my masters. I literally got that like 2 days ago as well. Like,
Well, yeah, so we
Congratulations.
passed
we both
our
passed. Yeah,
we passed our dissertations. I got 68% of my dissertation.
yeah, you smashed it.
That's better than what
Well
I'm
done,
gonna get.
guys.
Yeah.
54. I'll tell you. Passed.
You know what I was shocked
Yeah.
by? I beat Prowsey.
Yeah, I was like so
I
surprised
beat
by that.
Prowsey. So there's a guy who
Looks a little bit like James Ward.
used to be, looks like James Ward Prowse.
So you call him Prowse.
Call him Prowsey. That's also to keep him anonymous because he was kind of like a behind the scenes, behind the camera.
He didn't
He
wanna
used to
be
be our
on
producer,
camera,
basically,
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of.
Yeah.
And he's fucked off for not better things.
Well, no,
clearly.
he was working at Hendon. He's an analyst as well. So he's a performance analyst. He's
Oh,
working at
right,
Hendon. Now I don't know if he got it, but he He had an interview at a Premier League club's academy as a performance analyst.
That's news to me.
He didn't tell me if he got it or not though, so I need to ask him. But
It was really peak as if this is on a podcast and he didn't get it.
well, that's why I'm not saying the name of the club.
no.
Just absolutely killed him with that.
That's why I'm not saying the name of the club because I don't know if he wants me to say it or not. But
But like he was like the nerd of our group. Just
yeah, he always
Yeah,
distinct
see,
assessments and stuff.
One thing I will say about analysis is you get a mix of. I think it's either one or the other, and there's like no in between.
okay.
So you either get an analyst who's like, I analyse and then I go home and sleep and then I analyse more, or which is fine, like, and that's great. And God, you need people like that.
Yeah.
You need people like that. But then you get the other side, which is me, which is like, you know, I have a laugh and a joke, but like I do my job as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
100%.
so on the types of analysts, then do you develop that as you learn on the job or from your course or
No,
how
I
does
think
that work?
it's more your personality.
Okay.
You know, I think there's people. There's some analysts who are just there to work and to do the job, and they're really good at it. And they're just obsessed with football.
Yeah.
Like, just completely obsessed with football. You've seen so many people like that. Like, they just live for it. Like, on a Tuesday night, they're at a game. Wednesday night, they're at a game because that's all they want to do. And then I think there's other analysts there that are like a bit... It sounds harsh saying that that this type of people have more personality.
They have a life.
Listen,
That's why I said it so you didn't have to. Yeah, I said that. I said that.
Treaded on water.
Yeah.
But like you'll get
Yeah.
basically you'll get ones who like a beer after a game, and you get ones that are like teetotal. You know what I mean? Like,
Which one are you, Henry?
I'm not right. I don't
He's
drink.
teetotal, by the
I
way.
don't drink.
do you not drink? No.
I don't drink, but I can have a laugh. Like I'm not that kind of guy.
Wait. No.
I promise you, I can have a laugh.
I promise I can have a laugh, guys.
Just because I don't drink doesn't mean I'm not funny.
I think I need to clarify as well. Just because you don't drink doesn't mean you're not funny.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy who I work with, Dave. You know Dave.
Yes.
Dave is such a good laugh.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the most. I'd say he's one of the most charismatic guys that you could
hilarious.
find. Like he's brilliant. He don't drink, but he's still great to be around.
Yeah.
So well done, you, Henry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
I promise I can have a laugh. No, I'm chill. I'm like, I think it all comes down to like when you're looking at performance analysis, there's a lot of the bulk of the work. The thing that takes up the most time is like coding games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then being at games and having to code live as well. And there are some people who enjoy doing that and like that's fun to them. That's what they want. That's their obsession, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And there are other analysts who will do that. That's not what I find fun. Like what I find fun is the analysis, like looking into the numbers, like giving insights, like having something that makes the team better, or finding a player based on the numbers that makes the team better, stuff like that. The actual coding of the game is like it's a bit of a chore that you've got to get through to get to the fun bit.
There is different parts of performance analysis, which is really exciting. So like
exactly.
I suppose if you were at the top level, then analysis would be brought down into so many different bits.
Oh yeah,
so
100%.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you've got your own team analysis, you've got opposition analysis, which is my favourite thing to do.
Nice.
Recruitment analysis, like you want to do. So you've got so many different things, but like.
Then you've got like you have different roles as well, like data architects who like manage databases of stuff, and then like data scientists as well. Like you can break it down. You can break each thing down in department and then roll down even further.
Oh, and then you could break it down into like you could have a goalkeeper analyst and a set piece analyst.
Exactly.
And, like there's so many different avenues that you can go down, but at our level, you've got to be able to do everything because the budget doesn't really allow you to have like 10 different analysts, 10 different job descriptions.
Yeah.
Like you've got to be able to I can analyse my own team, I can analyse the opposition. My favourite thing to do is watch teams, figure out how they play, and try and help the gaffer figure out how we're going to beat them. You know, like that's my thing. That's what gets me going. So, like Dave, on the other hand, he enjoys the process of coding, and he wants to get them clips together, and then he'll make videos from it and stuff like that. And he's more own team analysis.
Mm.
I prefer to do the opposition stuff, creating videos on like how this is how they're going to play, this is how we're going to beat them, this is everything to do with that team that we're going to play on Saturdays.
It's kind of each week's different for you.
Yeah.
Every week's different.
Do you
Yeah.
think that's the reason why you prefer that? Because obviously each opponent that you're coming up against are going to have a different style of play, different players, different like player profiles.
Oh yeah, and especially at this level as well. Like, there's teams where they'll just every goal kick they get, it's just going long every time. Like, and that's easy to pick up. But the exciting bit is when you've got a team that actually plays. Because if you're an analyst at like Premier League Championship level, you're thinking, right, every week they're going to play. So now we're looking at how they're building, how they're pressing. But at this level, because you've got so many teams that do play long, the one time you have a team where they're playing short, you're thinking, oh, thank God, like
You've got
I
to
get to
change.
see how they build. Like I get to see like what their positioning's like and all that. Because I'm from a coaching background, so I coached for 12 years.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Retired from football at 14.
And what was that again?
Long
That
storied
was-
career.
It wasn't because of my knee, if that's what you're trying to
Yeah.
suggest.
Could you have gone pro? Like everyone
Could've
says.
gone pro,
yeah,
my knee
so-
popped out.
Yeah. Listen, if I weren't really bad at football and overweight, like, I would have been a good footballer. The reason I quit was actually because I was a goalkeeper. Now I will say I'm 5'6".
Yeah, I was going to say.
But back then, like, it was all right. I could touch crossbar and that. But I quit because there were
When
two of
five-a-side
us.
goals.
Cheeky, full size, 11-a-side goals. I'd run up to that crossbar and I'd do a full jump and I'd touch crossbar.
Nice.
And I think, right, I'm big enough to be in this goal.
Nice.
Yeah. Who was lifting you?
My mum. But yeah, there were two goalkeepers, and anyway, they decided to choose the other one. So I was like, right, I'm going to retire now. So then,
Long industrious career. 40.
oh yeah, a brilliant Akian District Junior Football League. That's where I played. Yeah, I was goalkeeper for the third best team in the league.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
But there were two goalkeepers. So, you know, it could go, you could see that either way, couldn't you? Really. And then I started coaching at 14. Started coaching at 14. I coached at a pub team. And yeah, that was an interesting time. Like, just adults coaching people twice my age,
Yeah.
telling them how to play.
You were coaching adults
I was coaching adults.
at 14.
I got offered out by the centre mid. Yeah.
What?
So
Damn.
basically, our manager, the person who brought me in, was my brother's manager,
Okay.
called Sheepy, and he brought me in as assistant. And he was like, just listen to whatever this guy says, because he's my assistant now. So just, if he says it, it's come from me, so listen to it. So all the players like, brilliant. Sheepy then got a job in Canada,
Oh, wow.
so he's left, right? So then I'm still there, and this other guy took over, and he was like, right, I'm going to be player manager, so you've got to do like touchline shouts and stuff like that. I'm like, all right then, 14. Like, hey, get up there! What are you doing? Come on!
Way to put you on the
that.
spot.
Surely a bit higher than
Yeah,
that.
like, yeah, you're coaching from the sideline now. So anyway, half time comes around in this game, and like I've got all the lads in. I've gone, right, midfield.
No, sorry, can we do the higher pitch?
All right. Hello. Was that a note, or was that just me saying?
No, I was saying that I'm sure at 14 that was more like how you spoke.
Oh yeah. I thought you were saying there were problems. So I was like, yeah. So guys, midfield, you need to get back with these because you're leaving the defence on their own there. And this guy was like, this midfielder, and I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure he was called John Lewis. Right? I'm sure he was called John Lewis. And he's like, well, how about I knock you out? I'm like, this is when I got my voice, because I went, don't you speak to me like that. Get off now. I subbed him off.
Subbed him off.
Yeah,
Did he
twice my
Did he
age.
knock you out?
I said, you don't speak to me like that. No, of course he didn't. Because all the other players turned around and went, yeah, John Lewis, mate, you shouldn't have said that. Like, you can't speak to him like that.
Fair enough. And then where they go from there?
So then I was just coaching like an under-16s team, like just Sunday League team. And then I ended up getting a coaching role at Chorley, coaching their under-13s.
Nice.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Working with James and Dan and Colin. And
I can see you reminiscing right there.
Yeah, I was, because I'll tell you something. That time was really important for me. Because I just learnt so much. Every time I went, it was just, these guys were such good coaches for that level as well. None of us getting paid. It was unbelievable coaching. I'd just stand there, and I'd have James would help me with my session, and he'd be like, "Right, I like your idea. I want add this in as well." I'd be like, "Brilliant." And then I'd finish my session, and then Colin and Dan had coached theirs after, and I'd stay behind and just watch theirs. I'd just sit there and watch it, write notes.
Nice.
But I was at Chorley, and then COVID happened, but we were still playing on and off. So I don't know if you remember, but there was 6 months where we didn't play at all, and then 2 months where we did, and then there were a couple of months where we didn't. Imagine trying to run a team when that's happening, and you're like, "Oh yeah, game's been called off, like COVID's happened."
Yeah.
You're like, "Yeah, of course it has."
Because they cancelled the season in the end, didn't they? For most non-league.
Yeah,
clubs.
most of them they did.
They did for my team as well.
But what they ended up doing in our league was they put it into, so the league was like 8 teams. They split the leagues into 2, and then they had like a 4-team league, and you played them twice, and then that was your league. But then whoever won the league didn't get a trophy, so it didn't
really mean much.
What's the point? We don't get to lift the trophy at the end of the season.
Good fitness.
Just run around for a bit, kicking that bag of air there, like
pre-season and the actual season.
But I also want to ask, because this is a common thing on the Blue podcast. This is about Henry.
Oh, for God's sake, what is it now?
Oh, here we go.
It could be anything.
Now, Lloyd, I'm sure you can remember that. What would me, Dan, and Carlos always almost scream at Henry about?
Oh, right, we're talking about watching football.
Yes.
Yeah, with your eyes and not the stats.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
Because Henry is, we call stat man, because all he does is look at the stats, and he'll say that certain players have a shit game, when if you watch the game,
they play really well.
really fucking didn't.
Well, it's interesting you say this, because I actually I learned something really important a couple of weeks ago about this. So if you're looking at stats, there's some stats where it's like, if you've had 70% possession,
yes,
you've dominated the game. But is it good possession? Like, where on the pitch is that possession? Are you just passing the ball round your back 4 and not really going forward?
Yeah.
And that's your possession.
Yeah.
If you do that for 90 minutes, then great, you've dominated the game, but you've not really had any chances. You've not created anything.
Yeah.
To look at stats, I think especially with like player stats as well, you've got to, if you see a stat and you think, right, this guy's won, I don't know, but say your player's got like 50% passing accuracy, and you think, oh my God, this guy's only made half his passes, like he's rubbish. But what you've got to do then is you've got to watch all of the passes that he's attempted, and then you say, right, well, to be fair, every pass that he's attempted is one that's over the top, and he's trying to get the team in behind, which might be a tactical point. It might be he sees that the winger's faster than the fullback, and he can get in behind. So he's trying these riskier passes. So you can't say, oh, well, this guy's the lowest pass accuracy in the team, so therefore he had a bad game, because it's not relative.
No. You've got to paint a complete picture of what it is looking into. So if you have like passes, let's say passes completed, also look into like passes into the final third, for example. How many of those are attacking wise?
Yeah.
But also like positional, like look at heat maps, look at where he's playing on the pitch, depending on the position that he's playing. I do watch football with my eyes.
I'd hope so.
Well, yeah.
I don't know how else you're watching it.
Like just watching my feet.
I'm smelling something interesting here. Is there a goal?
Yeah. As I quite
volley off as well, or
I quite rightly defended Eden Hazard as one of the greatest Premier League players ever, as you might have seen in the Red show that you weren't in.
It's not been out yet.
It's not out yet.
When everyone else put it down below,
so I wouldn't have seen it, because It's not out.
It's not out.
Well, you could watch the
It'll
footage.
be out
do
at
the
some
schedule.
Stage. Yeah.
He does our schedule, by
But
the
yeah,
way.
no. That brings me on to a good point actually about the statistics because there was
Yeah, but
I
I've
think-
finished making my
Oh,
point.
sorry. No, well, I thought your point sort of wouldn't have
Can I
made any
interrupt
sense.
both of you and say something as well?
Yeah.
No, so defenders Hazard, right? Because obviously he's great football to watch. I don't mention the kind of I had a good game on the watch because I've got you two to do that. I'm here to provide my side of the insight. If I was doing it for work, doing a complete picture, then I will look at the game. I'll include clips. I'll do all this kind of stuff. But when it's just
That's
me,
a great sales pitch for a job, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
I'm good at elevator pitches. What can I say? when I'm on a podcast and my role as host, my role is the data guy. You see,
Okay, I see. Yeah.
I'm here to provide a statistical backing of why a player is good or bad, and then you guys give us the
completely disagree every time.
yes.
Yeah.
But no, as an analyst, God, yeah, you got a complete picture. Like I say, you got data breakdowns, you got heat maps, pass maps, positional data, a manager feedback, manager advice, what he thinks about all this,
Yeah.
clips, telestrations. There is so much more you can do when you're providing a report on a player or on a team than when you're like just talking about it on a podcast like this.
Okay. And what was your point?
Yeah, my point was I think it was Kobe Mainoo in the Euros. His pass accuracy was incredibly high, and like all these media outlets were posting it, like, oh, so good at keeping the ball and like not losing it. I think he made like 10 progressive passes out of 140.
Yeah,
so actually,
see-
10 of them were
Yeah.
only 10 of them went forward.
Yeah.
The other 130 were just sideways or backwards. So
I would caveat that by saying, again, I haven't seen the numbers, but what were Declan Rice's progressive passes like? Because
I've got no idea.
they were a pair, so I would assume that Declan Rice was used as the progressor and Mainoo was used as a ball retention specialist. and just
Although
keep
we didn't really
possession.
progress up the pitch very
No, we
often, did
didn't.
we?
Well,
Yeah,
that's an England thing. But
But this is exactly my point, is that it's all relative to what actually happens on the pitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you could have a goalkeeper who makes 25% of his passes,
exactly.
but he's been instructed by the manager to play it long every time.
Yeah.
exactly.
And then that's on the striker then who hasn't won the ball. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it all depends on what actually happens in the game. But looking at stats and, like you say, watching the game through numbers and percentages and that, like, you can't. That's why I always get told, like, to watch the game back after the game's happened. Because, yeah, you can look at the reports that you get and get your stats and all that. And, yes, it is important. I prefer the graphs. Like, you can... there's one on Y-Scout which is, like, which area of the pitch all of the duels and duels won and lost in each area. But there must be, like, 30 different areas.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, like, just to look at that. Because you get a clear picture of, like, right, well, we're winning the ball a lot there, but we're not winning it a lot there.
Exactly.
The graphs are interesting. The stats can be dictated however you want. You could show
Exactly.
a person 3 different stats, 3 different percentages, which are really low, and say, look at them, he's really bad. But then it's exactly like you said at the start of this. Like, if you actually watch it back, it tells a completely different picture.
Yeah.
Different story.
I've just finished the Sir Alex Ferguson leadership book, and there's a whole bit on, you know, when you know, analysts started coming into football, because obviously he kind of was there from before and during and then after.
Yeah.
And he said an interesting point where, you know, he'd look at the stats and stuff, and they would just confirm what he saw on the pitch,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Does that happen a lot?
Sometimes that is just a case. You know, the gaffer will ask me for certain stats, and I'll show him, and he'll say, "Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking." Like, we can all have exactly the same opinion, and it's just this perfect thing of we're all thinking the same. We've all got the same idea. Let's put that across to the players.
And I was going to ask you on that, how do you translate what you found onto game day? I don't know how much you can say about that, but
Do you mean like
how
during
do you,
the stats from the game you're currently playing?
No, I'm
during
saying
the game?
from the week before?
So say I've done my analysis on an opposition.
Yeah.
We'll then put that into a video,
Mm-hmm.
maybe clips. This is how they're going to play, and I am going to be quite vague with this, but this is how they're going to play. This is what we think they're going to set up like. This is how we're going to beat them. And that's it. That's all the players need to know.
Yeah. And they just try and translate that on the pitch, basically.
Yeah. We'll do 2 or 3 videos before a game. Like we have one just before the game, which is the most important stuff. But the important thing is that it's translated onto the pitch. So whatever we say in the video, it will then get put into training. So we'll watch a video, do it in training. If we just watch the video, it'll go out of their heads in 10 minutes. Because then they'll eat their lunch or they'll have a laugh with one of the teammates or whatever, and they'll have completely forgot about that. So it's do the video, this is how they're going to play, this is what we're going to do, straight onto the pitch, we're training, that's what we're going to do. Okay. And then the players have maybe 2 hours of solid just focusing on what we're going to do. And then we can go and do that on match days.
Would you say that translates up and down the pyramid? Maybe more up.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I've only really worked for one manager, so that's how we do it.
Yeah,
that's how we do it.
And he's been to some decent clubs.
Oh yeah, he has. Yeah.
Who is your manager, by the way?
Adam Murray.
Okay, and who's he worked for? Because I don't know the name.
Besiktas.
He was so he played in the Premier League.
Yep, played in the Premier League.
He played loads of different clubs. Then he was manager of Mansfield.
Yes.
Okay, know the name. Yeah. Isaac. Mansfield fan, isn't he?
No, Oldham.
Damn. That's embarrassing.
Oldham and Mansfield.
Very different.
Been to a couple of different clubs before he became assistant manager at Barnsley, then assistant at West Brom, then assistant at Besiktas, and then manager of Fylde, which is where I met him.
Nice.
Fylde. This is National League.
National League
because they got promoted.
AFC Fylde is National League.
I went there when they were National League.
Okay.
They just got promoted. He got them promoted.
Yeah.
And then I came in as an intern.
Nice.
And then
he liked you.
He liked me. He chose me.
Evidently. Yeah. I mean, in terms of like match preparation, because like across the leagues, that you got all the players saying, "Oh, we just take it game by game." Is that the same thing for at Eastbourne? Are you allowed to comment on that?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that we always focus on the next game.
Next game.
It's always about the next game. Like, you can't be looking... In terms of analysis, we work ahead of ourselves.
Yes, yeah.
So, like, we've...
Because it's different at most clubs. Because I won't say the name because I don't know if that's okay. But I went to visit a club recently in League One, and they tend to work one game in advance. So they tend to do... As you're building up to one game, it's the next opponent that they're
Exactly.
working.
That's kind of how we're working things. And then it's just... So... the team we're playing next Saturday have a game in between now and then, so then we just need to add the analysis from that game into our reports and clips and all that sort of stuff, and then but we always work ahead of ourselves because you don't want to be rushing.
No.
Because what I've always thought is like, because there's 3 of us, there's me, Dave and Luca, and we all do different things. Well, we all I do like the main chunk of like what our analysis is about, and then oversee everything as well, and then them 2 do the bits and bobs that they need to make sure that everything comes together and everyone has what they need. But you don't want to be rushing, because if you're working on that game that week, then you're so likely to end up falling behind when you've got a Saturday, Tuesday.
Yes.
Accidents
or even Saturday, Monday.
Yeah.
We've had this
I mean,
season.
when I came in last season, it was so hectic. We had 6 weeks in a row where we did Saturday, Tuesday.
Jesus Christ.
It was ridiculous. And then one of the games got called off, so then it was Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Jesus Christ.
Then
sorry, our stomachs are both rumbling.
I thought it did. I thought one of you were disagreeing with me. Not sure about that.
I don't know what I do.
No, I've always had a power source when I've gone to games.
They both rumbled at the same time. We just looked at each other like... Oh.
Synchronized rumbling. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
We're gonna get food after this, aren't we?
I've got a coronation chicken sandwich.
Oh
yeah.
fuck! Let's go and get some food, man.
You can. I'm gonna have a beer.
Can we talk analysis?
Yes, yeah. Come on, we got our guest here, guys.
I like keeping things fun and friendly.
We do. It's always a fun time when Tom's around. I'm going to ask you about that chicken sandwich when I next see you,
Nice, which would be on Thursday.
which is tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Spending my day off here, mate.
Mm.
I'm spending my day off here talking about coronation
buddy.
chicken,
Thank you, buddy.
and I'm having a great time.
Does everyone have the same day off? Does everyone have Wednesday off? Is that
It's Wednesdays. Yeah.
is that like a thing for most of football, or is that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Every team, because you're in on Saturdays, obviously
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
games, or like Sundays if you're at the top level, you have to have your day. You have to make sure you get your days off.
Yeah. Okay.
It might be different if you've got 2 games in a week,
Hmm.
but it
Tends to be.
it
Wednesday.
depends on when the games are. Because
Okay.
if it's a Tuesday, Saturday, you would generally have Wednesday, Sunday off as normal
Yeah.
Hmm.
because you rest after the games. But if you've got in National League, you've got Saturday, Monday games.
Hmm.
So the bank holiday at the start of the season,
Oh, we had that this season. Didn't
we had the Saturday, Monday, didn't we? Yeah.
Hmm.
So in that
That
you're-
Wednesday you need to be there, like.
it's
'Cause-
more the Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, is it
So
really?
the Sunday you've got to be in, because you
Oh,
think
yeah, just
you've got
before the
one
game.
day between each game.
Oh, so in that situation, would they pay you for an extra day, or would they tell you to have Thursday off, or?
Well, I don't think football works like that.
No,
I think
really.
you just
just kind of have to work.
you just do it.
Yeah.
You do it, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Nice.
Like it's
I've not got a problem. I'm selling myself really well, and I just said that.
No, you
No.
I was naive to it as well when I
no,
started.
it's
Yeah.
all questions
Yeah.
you've got to ask. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
football isn't a normal job.
Nope.
It's
No.
not a normal job at all. Like there's been times that I end up working at God knows what hour, like because you want to do the job.
Exactly.
If you don't want to do the job, then you're probably going to struggle because you've got to understand that.
Of course.
Like I did, for another point, I did 12 years for free. Like when I was coaching, and then obviously when I was an unpaid intern, starting out in analysis. But you accept that for what it is because
Yeah.
it's an opportunity.
Doesn't fall on
Exactly.
your lap. You've got to put
No.
the graft
Exactly,
in.
you've
got to
put
put the graft
work
in.
to be able to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Like nobody's gonna say to you, "Oh, you've just come fresh out of uni. Here's a job on
Yeah.
50 grand a year."
No.
It don't work like that.
No.
No.
It don't. You got to work hard for it.
Speaking of working hard, I know you want to talk about analysis, but you're a bit of a football manager guy, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I love
There we
Football
go.
And
Manager.
I'm saying that because those two were playing it last night.
We were, yeah. I mean, I haven't played it a lot, but I did steal Wilfred Ndidi off of.
Hold on. So what
Henry.
teams are you?
Right. So
I'm
Oh,
Crystal
you-
Palace. You're, I want to say
Everton.
Everton.
and I played it as Sean.
and then
Dyche
there's
as well.
Wilfred and Ndidi at Everton.
I needed a ball-winning midfielder, mate. I was
So
like,
you signed him.
I was going to sign him.
No, and
but
then
he-
I
Oh,
stole
and
him.
then you. No, that's what confused me. I thought he was going to be Leicester, and then he says Everton.
No.
I played it as Sean Dyche. So I made my guy Sean Dyche.
Oh
and I was
my
like,
God.
Played 4-4-2. I really won. Yeah,
Yeah, and then there's two others. So a guy called Dan is on the podcast. He was Wolves, and then Jamie was Fulham, and Jamie was also in for Ndidi as well. So we had three of
Oh
us
my
in
God,
for the
he
same
won.
Three
player.
of you in for
And then
one
I
guy.
offered him the most money, so I managed to get him.
Literally lost him, then lost Etienne Capoue, who's on a free as well. Everton have no money, and I was like, I'm not taking this seriously. By the way, if I was taking it seriously, I'd make better signings. I ended up with Marouane Fellaini.
Still gonna win anyway, probably.
Wait, what year is this? 2020.
4, yeah.
I know. He was
You
buying.
signed Fellaini.
He was buying like Alexander
Mate, I was-
Pato and everybody
I
like that.
No. Let me tell you this. I started one right. So what I've enjoyed doing recently is starting to save unemployed,
Yeah.
and then starting it on the Canadian dates, 8th of April 2024. So it's the end of the first season,
Okay.
right? So then you get to see who gets relegated and all that. I got offered 2 jobs, Wigan and Reading, who had both been relegated to League 2.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah. So then I took Reading.
Did they? Have they
They
had a
gave
takeover?
me a transfer budget of, I'm going to let you guess, how much Reading, League 2.
60K.
60k?
Have it, depends if they had the takeover or not. It's even
They hadn't had the takeover.
nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, 10k.
2.8 million.
What? Wow.
2.8 million
Without a takeover.
without a takeover. 92 grand a week wage budget. League 2.
Yeah, that's insane.
I was signing everyone. I was like, yeah, just throw money at it. Like, you can have a wage. You can have a wage. Go on then. Yeah.
Not to the same extent, but like Birmingham City buying Jay Stansfield for about
Literally, yeah.
15
It
million
was-
pounds.
It was just like that. Yeah. So
Mental.
you reminded me because I signed Pato.
Oh,
Yeah, I signed Pato. Like
Nice.
In League 2?
7-8 grand a week in League 2. Yeah.
Yeah, he took. I don't think it was 11 grand I spent on him a week. I was
Right.
like, Everton have no money, so I was like, free transfers. Like, I signed Victor Moses, I signed Pjanic, I signed.
Yeah.
I was like, let me make the most like was it recently the Barclays? I'm gonna try to make the most
Ex-Barclays.
Barclays team
Oh, yeah.
possible. So I was like, play 4-4-2. Moses in, Pjanic in. Who else was I signing?
shame Michu's not about anymore.
Yeah.
Would have been the
Yeah,
perfect striker.
What a throwback.
Oh,
It was,
what a player,
no, there was
shit.
another striker. Bastost.
Isn't he like 38 now?
It's
Are you
so
signing him for the Prem?
He's got 15 heading and like 17 jumping.
He's just crossing the
No.
ball in. That's all he's going to do.
Wakehurst. I
Yeah.
signed it. I'm a massive Aki Stanley fan, me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
I can't believe we didn't kind of clarify that at the start of the podcast.
Well, I wanted to leave it for the podcast because we had this little
Yeah.
discussion about you being a Man United fan, even though
yeah.
you've never been to Manchester.
I have been to Manchester.
You're a Liverpool fan because of your dad. And I'm like, yeah, I support my local club, yeah.
Yeah, no, oh, again, you were
Respect.
going to ask him a question as well about when he started.
Oh, yeah, so how come you became a Man United fan and when did that happen?
Became a Man United fan because it's what my dad and not my dad, so my uncle and my granddad are massive football fans and they're both Man United fans. And like I never watched football growing up. I wasn't interested in it. I was a proper fucking nerd. Like I was that guy. And then I was like,
Still is.
let me spend some
Yeah,
time.
I mean, to be
with-
fair,
Yeah.
it's a positive thing. It's a
Yeah.
good thing, that.
But I was like, I spent time with my granddad a bit more. What are you doing? Are you watching the football? Let me watch the football with you. And this was, when I'm like, oh, let me watch the football with you, just to spend some time with you. This probably was Van Gaal's season, and this was the FA Cup final. And then,
Yeah.
then I was watching it religiously from the Mourinho era onwards. Yeah, so I would have been like,
So that's 20. Well, was the FA Cup final 2016?
Are you trying to figure this
So
out as well?
yeah, so that's after Klopp joined Liverpool.
Yep.
Wow.
was that
How
8
old
years?
were you?
Oh, he'd have been 15.
Yeah, 14, 15.
No, he'd have been 15.
14, 15.
Really
He
digging
knows
it in
better
there.
than you know
Yeah.
yourself.
No, I just wanted to admit that it was 15.
Yeah.
But to be fair, since
And
then,
now look at him on a football podcast.
Yeah,
now it's literally my
with a
entire
plethora
life.
of football knowledge, statistics.
Not
Do you,
most
do you
people agree
think
with,
that
but
might be why you're so stat focused?
I'm quite a
Because you're
mathy
so
guy.
late.
No,
to it.
I'm quite a mathy guy. I got an A star at maths GCSE, not bragging already.
Wow.
I got a C.
Oh,
passed
same
it.
here. We passed.
Yeah!
Come on.
Like, I'm quite
got an A.
good with my numbers. Like I got my spreadsheets and shit. Like you've seen the schedules I've done for like the spreadsheets and shit.
Oh, yeah, but that's just your OCD, mate.
Yeah, I'm also very
That's not your good mathematics skills.
like initially that wasn't what like I love football. Like don't get me wrong, it was like a dream to play football and be a footballer and like. But I was 15. I was like, that's too late. I've missed it. I've missed.
So
the
you had
opportunity.
like our whole childhood at the age of 15. Oh, I really want to be a
wild.
footballer.
No, like,
So did you decide at 15 like I'm gonna go into being a staff member?
No. So at that point, I was like, I love football. I'd love to be a footballer, but it's never going to happen. So I'm just going to watch football, love football, be a football fan, and then just go and do something else. And I ended up in computer science. I have a computer science degree, worked in computer science for a year.
Science.
Yeah, programming and shit. So I can still program a little bit, but like I gave it up because it sucked ass.
I got B in computing in GCSEs.
No.
That's not bad.
wow.
That's not bad,
Yeah, man.
mate.
Forgot it all now.
What, in 2005?
I think I got a B as well, actually.
Hey, careful, careful. I'm only 26,
And
man.
I'm only 2 years younger than you.
Oh shit! So yeah, that happened. That sucked. And then I found out I was literally sat with my mate and I was like, "Oh shit, UCFB's a thing. I can go and be whatever I want to be." And at that point, I was obsessed with Football Manager and doing the transfers and being the kind of director of football of a club. And I was like, "That's what I want to do." So I came to UCFB and I was like, "Okay, how do I be a director of football?" Right, director of football course, nice. Can I get in? Absolutely fucking not.
Why?
What?
Because you need to. I'm not qualified for it.
So you got to be like super
You've
qualified.
got to be This is it's very
Oh yeah, there's some alumni, isn't there?
Direct,
Like
of course.
Locatelli's an alumni here.
yeah.
The manager. Locatelli? Is it Locatelli?
What, Manuel Locatelli?
Yeah.
The footballer?
The people
No,
who-
not Locatelli. Who's the?
I
Is
was
it?
thinking he sent him mid for you.
Yeah,
I know,
it's
that's what I was
Locatelli,
thinking.
What's
forget
his
that.
name? Who's the manager beginning with L? Who's just started managing?
Lopetegui.
Lopetegui. That's it. He's an alumni
Yeah.
here.
And like I think
Is he?
I forget who was on the course. I think it was a Chris Wood level footballer. I think it might have been Chris Wood actually. It was like one of them. And Mark Hughes did it. Like
There was the keeper, Guzan, wasn't it? In what was
Brad
on
Guzan.
Brad
Yeah.
Wait,
Guzan?
he did the course.
I think he did the directors. Some of them did directors. Some of them did other stuff.
Yeah,
Some of
I
them
think
did
Guzan was on
directors.
one of the online courses.
I just thought it was funny when he said a Chris Wood type footballer. Probably Chris Wood.
Yeah, I mean, like Chris Wood's not
He's
that
not-
good anyway.
he's like
scored
Chris
a,
Wood.
scored,
Yeah,
scored a
he
goal
is
at the weekend. Scored a goal at the weekend. Like,
Yeah, someone like him. I was like, I can't get onto that. Fair enough. Where do I go? How do I get into this? And I'm like, okay, I want to. What do I love? I love signing players. That's what I love. So why don't I? Shut the,
Making you speak into it.
fucking Put yours further up.
Mine's
then.
fine.
Yeah. So
I'm the guest and I'm not.
I know, yeah.
We're doing all right.
Yeah, we're all good over here.
These two are just sat there fighting.
That's what we do.
like, you know, the kind of cartoon slapping thing.
Move on quickly.
Yeah, we're not doing.
Move on quickly.
So I was like, what do I work in recruitment? How do I work in recruitment? I want to be a head of recruitment. Okay, how do I get into being a head of recruitment? Okay, I want to work in recruitment analytics because I want to use the numbers.
Can we just stop for a sec? What has just happened? What was that?
I didn't know how to react to
At
it,
the
mate.
last
I
minute,
was like-
he just carries on like no.
I know, mate. Honestly,
No idea.
I had to
What?
I had to look away. I didn't know what to do.
I need.
So,
You need a bit of Lucasade.
Let's have a little break.
Scrappy Doo thing. Like,
Scrappy Doo.
from like the cartoons.
You
and
look
stuff.
like a cat in a cartoon.
Right.
Stop doing it!
Yeah.
Stop doing
Enough.
it! Stop doing it! Once you've done it once.
So,
Oh.
what would you say, anyway, as we're having this break? What would you say your proudest moment's been so far?
Is that not a question for whether?
Yeah, let him.
Oh,
let
yeah,
him
oh,
finish
true,
his Lucas
true,
Aid. Let him
yeah,
finish
but
his Lucas Aid.
But like, I just thought to
He's
fill
filmed
the
fill the
space
space,
for
fill
a
the
minute.
space,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can I just say I hate these lights?
They're not ideal,
Oh,
are they?
mate, the worst.
Oh, this is staying in as well.
No, of course it is.
Do it.
Mate,
And we're
this is
back.
terrible.
And we're back.
And we're
What's your
back.
question, son?
What would you say your proudest moment's been so far?
Staying up last season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Staying up last season.
Yeah, because I remember
Like,
looking at the
what
table
a-
and I was thinking at one point, I was like, oh, I hope
After
they stay
it
up.
happened, see, the thing is, right, here's another thing about up north. Where I'm from, Accrington, people don't say that they have concerns with it until it's gone well. And then they'll say, yeah, you know, I have my doubts, like, I have my doubts, I just never told you. So the amount of people who have told me this summer, I was wondering, what on earth are you doing, like, going there? Like, the club where, when I went in with the gaffer, there were 7 points adrift, minus 33 goal difference or something crazy like
Yeah,
that.
didn't have a good start to the last
It,
season.
No.
it was.
And was that straight from
Difficult.
AFC Filed? Was that right?
So I was at Filed from June until December.
Right.
Left in December. Joined Eastbourne the start of January.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Cool.
But they were out. Like,
Yeah, well, yeah. At
It-
one
it
point,
was-
it was looking rough.
it was
Yeah.
looking really bad. But like, what a group of men that was.
Mm.
What a group. Like the staff, the players, everyone just put 150% in every single game, every single week. Like they rallied around each other, supported each other. Like, don't get me wrong, it was stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine it was.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
difficult. Like, and just to be thrown into a situation like that,
Mm.
like, that's not easy.
No.
It's not easy being thrown into a situation like that. And you think, like, you know, we can talk about the stats and all that sort of stuff. But what if it's not the stats? You know, what if it's not? What if the problem is something else?
Mm.
And then you've got to try and change a mindset of a team who, like we've all just said then, when I joined that club, they were in big trouble.
Yeah.
Mm.
the players aren't stupid. They can see that. So you've got to more the job of, the coaching staff, but myself as well. You've got to make it so then them players believe they are going to win every single game. And if they don't, then they won't. But we did what we did, and that is we tell them what the opposition's going to do, how we're going to beat them, and then we just go and do it.
Yeah.
But the difficulty is that you might lose a game. And then if you lose a game, then people start thinking, oh, here we go again, like they're still in the relegation zone. And we were in the relegation zone for a large majority of our time at the club last season. And then it was the Thursday before the final game of the season that we stayed up. And it was because our relegation rival lost.
Yes, I remember. I've been told the story. It's a good story.
I can imagine. Not a story for this podcast. However, I will tell you guys after. Very good. But yeah, like that achievement is unbelievable.
Yeah.
There were a lot of tears after we
Was
stayed
it
up.
14 games, 1 loss at the end?
I think I've just seen it was
11
11 and
11. Wait, was it 11 unbeaten?
1.
the last
I've
one.
just seen it was. I think it was. I've just looked it up. It was 11 games and it was 1 loss.
11 games, 1 loss.
Yeah,
Which one was it?
and it was Maidstone at home.
Ah,
And Maidstone
yeah,
were
that's
obviously
right.
flying because of the FA
Yeah.
Cup.
Do you have any kind of parting words that you want to kind of put on us at the end of this podcast?
Do I have any parting words?
Or do you have anything else?
Well, let me rephrase that slightly,
okay.
because it's the question we ask everybody. who
No, I
comes
was
in.
actually just asking if you had anything else that you want to talk about.
No,
But just
I'm
trying to
gonna
say it
rephrase
nicely.
slightly. Everyone that comes in, we ask them the same question at the end of the podcast. He seems to have forgotten that.
No,
If so, Seems to have forgotten
I'm
that.
going to back him here. He was asking me a different question
Yes.
first.
But go on, Henry. Try and throw
If-
me in the bin.
Yeah, I've already had
Oh,
it. He's
no,
try,
no,
mate.
no,
Already
no.
does it. Just by me turning up, I throw you in the bin. If there
That's
is
a
a
bit harsh.
young,
No, it's because he normally is in the bin from me. So.
yeah, so I get when it's my turn, I'm going to throw him. If there's a young guy or girl out there who's like, oh, analytics sounds really cool. Being an analyst sounds awesome. Where should they start in their journey to potentially becoming one themselves?
Just watch football. Watch football. Try and figure out how a team's playing. I'll tell you one thing that was really interesting. My brother, Eli. Hi, Eli. I don't know which camera I should look at here. This
Middle one at the moment.
Hi, Eli. No, it's this one, isn't it?
No, it's two.
That one at the moment, and then it will switch.
It all switches.
Hi, Eli and Mum. Keep that in because my mum will really like that.
Oh.
Yeah, my brother Eli would give me a piece of paper. He'd say, right, figure this out. And this was when I was 16, 17. And he would have wrote down a scenario, right? And it says, your team is playing 4-4-2. The opposition are playing this formation. Such a thing happens in the game. How are you going to gain an advantage from this? And it was just like, he'd give me 10, 20, 30 of them, and I'd just sit there and figure out these different scenarios, right, and write it down. And then we'd have a chat about it. And like, my brother designs games now, so, you know, he's not really... He's got a cool job, but he's not in football, you know, so...
So who's the real winner?
Well, we both are.
Yes.
Great
Both are.
answer. Yeah.
Great answer.
My mum's very proud.
Mm,
We've done
good.
really well. And yeah, I'd figure out these scenarios, but I'd just watch football. The main thing is watch football, work out how they're playing, look at the teams, both teams, watch the goals back, see what happened. My mum would have got sick of me watching Super Sunday because every goal that was scored, I'd rewind it on the Sky. Look at this, Mum. He should have been there. Like, if he were there, then he would have done that. And, like, every single one.
Yeah,
Every single goal. Like, but in a very, very basic sense, that's analysis.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's it. That's watching it back, seeing what happened, and then you can give feedback. yes, there's a very big thing on stats, but I do believe that there'll be a lot of people who think that stats are very overwhelming.
Yeah, you have to know how to present them, otherwise no one's gonna listen to you at all.
Yeah,
that was the thing when I went into a club in League One. I won't say which one, just because I don't know if they want me to. Recently, and showed off a bunch of stuff that I'd found I thought was interesting. The main thing was like, okay, if you were going to present that to a manager, for example, or a player, presentation, get it looking nice, highlight specific bits that are important, and then use that to back up some clips. And that's what they were saying. And yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, but it is that translation of, because if you show a player the reports that we get after games with all them stats and all them graphs,
they're not going
to know what they're looking at unless you teach them, which then means you're having to teach them stuff that we've learnt at university.
Yeah,
for 3, 4, 5 years. Like,
rather than focused on doing the
you've got to make it so basic for them, where it's like, this is where we went wrong, this is what we need to do next time. Like, and then they can just go on the pitch and think, that is what I need to do.
Exactly.
Rather than them trying to have to, like, is the right word decrypt? Like, decode all of these.
Translate was kind of the word that was going around my head. Yeah,
translate.
You're the translator.
Translate these stats and percentages and stuff into
helpful, bite-sized information.
Yeah, you just don't want to overcomplicate it.
You don't want to overcomplicate it. Make it as simple as you can for them.
Exactly. And last but not least, where are Eastbourne finishing this season?
Where are we finishing?
Where are you right now, just for context?
We're second at the moment.
They're second.
We're second at the moment.
Hemel Hempstead's top, I think.
Hemmel's top. Yep. Yeah, Hemmel's flying at the moment. Look, I think we're in a really good place. Like I say, we've got a good team. We've got good staff. The supporters are brilliant, and I think that all of that can push us on. I think we can get promoted this season. I think we can. You never know what's going to happen in a season. You never know what's going to happen in a season. But I would be wrong to say that I don't feel like, because I do feel like we can.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, guys, for watching today's podcast. I hope you guys learned a lot. I mean, I learned a lot about what Analysts is actually like.
Yeah.
Going to give me some more respect now?
No. If you guys did enjoy, please do leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here. Check out all of our other shows. We do about 4 a week. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.